Good morning, guys. It is March 15th, and I haven't done an update video on the Tenere yet, but I'm threading my aftermarket handlebars right now, and I just realized that for most people that don't do this kind of thing all the time, this is probably a pretty tedious process, and I don't see a lot of information on YouTube about it. I've seen forums talking about it, telling you what to do, but for the guys that may think this is a little daunting, I'll get this out to you really quickly. Maybe it'll help you. Maybe make it a little more smooth process. So I've already done the right hand side threading, and I'm almost done with this side. So this is a good time to stop and show you what I got going on. And I was waiting till 1,500 miles, and I'll do a update video, whatever, what I've got going on with the bike. I've got my first adventure ride rally situation coming up. I've never done one before as a group, so I'll talk about that in the video. But as far as the threading, so to let everybody know what I got going on, if you haven't seen my other videos, this is the Protaper Adventure Lows. They make a high version, and I started an internet argument about these being too high, and they were ugly, and people had all their opinions on it. But just full disclosure, this is the bar that I wanted for my height, the way I ride. This is exactly what I wanted. I was running this bar on my DR650. Excellent bar. I like them, and for the way I ride and the way I stand up and ride, this is perfect for me. So with that being said, SW-Motech and a lot of the other brands like Barkbusters make a handguard set that is threaded for the factory bars. And truthfully, if the factory bars were a little bit taller, I would have probably left them alone. They're good bars, I think. People complain about them breaking or bending. They're actually laying over there on the floor of my golf cart, But so I said, hey, I'm going to put handguards on here. I knew I wanted to change the grips to these ODIs, which I've been running on everything, including four-wheelers for years. These are my favorite. So I said, I'll just buy the aftermarket bars, thread them, and get the factory Tenere 700 handguard kit, which is exactly what this is. So these handguards are from SW-Motech. They seem to be a very quality handguard. I've seen maybe one or two videos of people talking about these. They are made in Germany, and I do believe they are made by Barkbusters. Somebody could prove me wrong on that, but everything I've seen online seems to point that Barkbusters makes these for SW-Motech. Very nice powder coating, very good frame. I dropped this one and it banged off this concrete floor, and it didn't even mark up the frame. So I was impressed with that. The handguard, I guess deflector, whatever you want to call it. Let me get my light right, guys. It's held on by these plastic clamps. I do believe if you take a pretty nasty spill and it pushes on this, it'll probably break it first. But these are easily replaced on their website. All right, full disclosure on SW-Motech. I ordered them. It took them over 2 months to get them to me. I was very displeased with this, but after going back on their website, there is a disclaimer on the item when you're looking at it that says there is a 3 to 4 week lead time. Okay, so if you are in a rush, do not order these handguards, all right? Don't do it, because you're not going to get them in time for whatever you're going to use them for. So if you don't have 2 months to wait on them, just go buy the Barkbusters locally. They're very similar. I think they call it a Barkbuster VPS. And the only reason I didn't buy the Barkbuster VPS is because of the black powder coating on these. I like it being black. Now, there is a company somewhere. My dad has a Pan America, and there's a company that are selling Barkbusters. They basically buy the Barkbuster kit, and they are powder coating the frames. It's like a $25 upcharge from a standard Barkbuster. So if that's something you want, I think it is a Mississippi company, which that is where I am. If you guys don't know, I'm in central Mississippi, somewhere near, Starkville and Mississippi State University. I'm about 35 minutes from them. So I went a little bit long on that, but anyway, if you got any questions about those two products, give me a shout, and I'll direct you in the right place. So back to the threading in the SW-Motech. So this one is already done. I've got it mounted. I've got it where I want it. Turned out great. And the threading is, I would say it's tedious. You're gonna have to be patient and slow, especially if you've never threaded anything, especially if you've never threaded aluminum. Especially aluminum is soft. It gets hot and complicates things. So as it gets hot, it'll screw up your threading. So this one, again, I've already started it. I'm gonna back this thread out so you guys can see what I'm doing here. The Protaper Evo bars are quite thick. Let's see if I can get a light in here and let you guys see what I got going on. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get my light and the camera focused, but I'm probably halfway through there. As you can see, there's a bunch of material that is down in the handlebar, and you get a bunch of material on the tap. I'm going slow at this, guys. You can see it right there, maybe. I can't get my head and yeah. So what I'm doing is, and I kind of just stumbled upon this when I was doing it, realizing that all this material could potentially get down in my handlebar. So I'll go a little while, which again, you need to be slow anyway. I'll go a little bit, I'll back it out, thread it just like I'd thread anything else. But what I'm doing is I'll take my shop vac and I'll just suck all this stuff out of here about every, 5 or 6 turns. I'll take the tap out, clean all this material out, put a little bit more oil in there, and carry on. Now, this tap kit come off of Amazon, and it is, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get you, you may can see it. It's a M16 by 1.5, and that's exactly what you need for the Bark Buster or the SW-Motech threading, because this is the size of the factory handlebar bolts that go in the factory handlebar. So the factory handlebars are threaded exactly the same as what I'm doing now. This tap come in a 2-piece on Amazon. It's gonna, you can buy 2 of them if you want. I'm just telling you now, there's a couple of different ways you can do this. You can either buy 1 tap, buy a starter tap if you want, and Dremel the very end of this out, taper it so the tap will bite. But I would call this a bottom tap. It does have a little bit of taper. Let me see if I can. It does have a little bit of taper here on the end. I just kept spinning this in that end of the bar until it bit. And you just gotta stay diligent with it and stay with it, and it will finally bite. I would say the hole is just a little bit too small in here to be using this tap, but it will work. You just have to go slow because it's removing a good bit of material. There's still plenty there to be structurally sound, but for the threading purposes, it's removing a good bit. So you've got to go slow. That aluminum will get hot and it's not going to end well for you. So just 2 or 3 turns until it starts to get a little bit snug, and then you back it out, clean your threads, put a little more oil on there, take your time. Drink a beer, whatever you got to do, take your time. If it takes you an hour to do this, so be it. So getting a little long-winded, but yeah, again, this 2-pack comes with a starter and this one. I couldn't get the starter tap to work because it was the taper was too deep. So you may only need this one, but I think the taps were like 15 bucks for both of them, so whatever. But yeah, guys, it's going well. I'll be done with this in the next 20-30 minutes. I've got Pigs in the Forest in Mississippi coming up. I think it's Hazelhurst. That don't sound right. It's North Mississippi, pretty far North Mississippi. Adventure Rally. They camp and they ride, and it's a pretty cool thing. So Google Pigs in the Forest, Mississippi, and that'll probably show you what you need to see. I think it's coming up May 1st through 3rd. Be glad to see you guys out there, meet some new people. But thanks. If you got any questions, shoot them to me, man. Thank you.